Welcome back here again to another video. Just here where we've levelled out here in front, belong beside the shed here, just to leave a few bales on. Got another load of crushed stone there to finish out that there. We'll bring the bales all the way along here. It'll just leave, you know, when you're getting them through the winter there, it'll just leave, might keep down the muck anyway, hopefully. And up here above then we have just along there, you can see the crush here in the background. It's just out wall outside it. We'll get bales along here, possibly should hold what we have for this second coat between the two, hopefully, but sure we'll and sure we'll get a good few bales in along there, and whatever extra anyway we'll find somewhere for it. But yeah, we're going to get into this video now. We're starting to mow, so I'll have a bit on that. And I was also up there at the Base Ireland seminar there as well, so some interesting topics there. And look, was talking to a couple of lads there as well, so we'll just put a bit up there on that and show a few pictures of what was going on there.
Well, Darren, how are you getting on? I want to have a present waiting for you when you get home then.
I'm so they're doing this coming.
The other thing is, right, this is our committed, right? Oh, I'm going to send them on a pallet out here.
The EIP system on my farm at home in South Kildare. I've been in other EIPs. I know the power of it. It's locally led, it's driven from local knowledge, farmers learn off each other, but then it's innovative. And then the big opportunity for us on a broader policy level is that it's scalable. It has to be scalable to qualify for EIP. And that means that when we get over all the discussions around the cap budget, or what that overall budget looks like, when we get to designing our own cap, and hopefully, as Minister for Agriculture, I'll have as much flexibility as possible from Europe to design something very fit for purpose for Ireland.
The biggest thank you here is to the Dunn family. We are absolutely blessed to have this facility and being so welcome, and these people worked so hard to make this happen. Just a huge thank you to Norman and to Michael Senior and to Michael Junior. They really do pull this together, and it's just phenomenal to see it.
Minutes if someone has a question or two, and if not, look, Tommy's around. I'm sure he'll be around well, you know, and so I'll throw it up.
So I'm after finding another man here now. You probably have seen him before now, Tommy Heffernan, Tommy the Vet, as he's more commonly known on the social media, I suppose. So give us a few words on what you were doing here, Tommy. And
yeah, it was lovely to meet you in person, and I've seen you on the YouTube, as my younger daughter said, so lovely to meet you and chat today. I was here at Base. I went to an event they had a couple of weeks ago, and I was asked along when I speak, so I took on the topic of the future of food. So I'm obviously a vet, started out my career as a vet, but I've done a good few things along the way, and one thing I'm interested in principle, is soil health and the future of farming. So I tried to talk a little bit about that today, and people seem to resonate with it. There were some interesting ideas in it as well, I think.
Yeah, it was an interesting. You had a little image there of the House of Cards.
Yeah.
Where you had the soil and all the bits that cause away the bacteria and dirt worms. But we were standing on top of that House of Cards, so if someone, let's say, knocked one of the houses or one of the cards off, we were down on the ground as well. Like.
Yeah, and the base was the kind of the idea of that pyramid. Like there's two reasons we're standing in a hole here. It's very windy here in Kildare, right? But like if we spend a lot of time thinking about what happens above the ground, right? So I suppose what I've learned as a vet, very basically now, is that when we think about roots and the plant and soil, that the microbes around the plant are really key. You're turning it around. You're a real efficient operator. Yeah. So we always think about what we grow above ground. When we think about, we get into the plant, we think about roots, and we think about what's happening actually underneath. And I suppose that's what I was talking about, all the microbial life in soil. There's, in healthy soil, and again, I'm not an expert in soil, there's more microbial life than there's people in the world. Right? So this all microbiology, like you can see the worms here, it's all like an ecosystem. So the worms are part of the system. They're feeding on microbial life, and then all goes up along. But one thing I learned about as a vet, when I was seeing issues with particularly minerals and issues with cows eating stones, like I talked about, that down here at root level, mineral absorption is actually involved with the microbiome. So a healthy soil microbiome leads to a healthier plant. And remember, the animals are consuming the plants. Sometimes we're consuming the plants. So that's why I got interested in soil health in the first place. And I think as you go down the pyramid into the soil, it is this ecosystem of life we can't see with the naked eye. We can see things like worms, we can see things above the ground that we just need to start thinking about, because everything comes up from soil. You're a farmer, you're a producer, you probably spend a lot of time thinking about production and dry matter above the ground, but what happens below the ground? Because that's where it all comes from. So that's a very simplistic kind of view of it.
Yeah, because it was interesting there, like Neil Fuller there, he had his microscope out there, and you could see all the bacteria, the cobwebs, as it really looked like. But
so there's fungi, protozoa and everything. But the worm is a nice example there of an indicator species. I'm going to pick him up here now. Is an indicator species, and I'm not a soil expert. I say to farmers, just even having a shovel and going into your soil and pick up a soil book. We're going to get rained out of it now, but pick up a soil book and just think about it. You don't have to change everything in your farm. You don't have to change anything, but it is worth understanding that everything comes from soil. So a bit of knowledge is no harm. Yeah,
so that's what you're at, is precision microbes.
We're using microbes. Yeah.
So it's all about the bacteria, the good bacteria, I suppose, is what the...
Yeah, so whether it's ourselves, animals inside in the gut, or, if we're using silage or we're looking at slurry, we're trying to use microbes in a positive way. So we know that they have interactions in everyday life. Can we use beneficial microbes to kind of enhance health, be it gut health in calves or other stuff? And this is, like, I was very sceptical when I got involved at the start. Now I'm a bit of a preacher, but no, it's just a different way of thinking, and it's kind of, I suppose I started, I said today, people think this is kind of alternative medicine. It's just a more dynamic approach to health. It's kind of adding new ideas to improve farm profitability, performance and animal health.
Yeah, like I suppose all that probably 10 years ago, like, was all witchcraft, let's call it.
Yeah.
It's coming more to the fore. Like, you have products there for the calves and that, like, which has shown good potential there.
Yeah, well, we've done, at the start it was my research, which you could say was biased, but I was seeing better weight gain, less scour, less diarrhea. But we have a trial starting with Liverpool University. We've done some work with other institutions, and that's important as well when you are trying to mainstream this kind of stuff into, I suppose, the bigger farming picture, that you have science backing it up, independent stuff. So we're seeing the benefits from using microbes.
Yeah, and like that's more so at the dairy side, like a sort of where I'm looking at from what sort of products would you have, say, to complement our type of farming, suckler type?
Yeah, so suckling systems, you're looking at, can you get microbes into cows? Maybe you need nothing, maybe good, look, I always say to farmers, good management is key, right? So good management, nutrition, grassland management, etc., whatever it is. Where the probably areas are, if you have calves with diarrhea, you can use it at higher doses to help recovery, over maybe going towards antibiotics. And then on the suckler side, there seems to be a lot of people have used our silage additive, particularly when they're making bales, and that silage costs you a good bit of money, but if you are looking for that extra preservation, we have a very unique lactobacillus live liquid for silage as well, and that seems to be something where microbes potentially in a suckler or beef farm work well as well.
Yeah, so like that on the silage, like it's not just on the preservation side, the bacteria could be hanging around in the silage as well, like the good bacteria.
When you're using a live home affirmative inoculant, what you'd like to do is you'd like to speed up the propagation and fermentation of the silage. And when you're reducing the pH, our microbes are acid adapted. So the theory of what we'd be hoping is that when you're feeding out that silage, you're actually feeding good bugs into the rumen of the animal, whether it's a finishing cattle or suckler cows or weanlings. So that is the theory behind it. We've seen some good feedback on that space as well.
Yeah, like it's interesting, like you may get more benefits nor what you can see on your silage analysis, which comes back in the post, like the maybe invisible stuff to a test.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of silage analysis comparisons, and we were actually a bit disappointed at the start when we were doing that. I don't think you'll make good silage better. You won't change the constituents. You'll speed up the fermentation, yes. There's certain elements that you can look at there. We've done some research with TUS and Athlone where we did independent research, and you can, some constituents you can improve, but you're not going to make good silage. Or bad silage good. But you definitely will get the most out of what you have from the preservation point of view and conserving the nutrients when you cut them.
I might just give you the edge rather than the silver bullet, like.
Absolutely, and I think with bales, people do struggle a bit sometimes with bales and preservation or even pit silage, whatever it might be. And we've done work in haylage and other things. Again, these are tools, they're an extra. I think one of the focuses here today is, you want to reduce your inputs and costs if you can at all. So certain farmers may use them in second or third cut where preservation is more challenging, if weather is more challenging, and you might not use anything. But they're just tools in the armoury again.
Oh look, there's things to take from today, like other than reducing, like there's a lot of things to be taken.
What were your key couple of things you took out of it?
Probably
I'm
to get
interviewing you now.
yeah, probably to get your soil in line before you can really start doing anything. Like we've been working on it there this year as well. We got the whole farm soil tested. We were index 1 there for peas, so which that's a big thing to bring back, and probably now to go down getting the soil structures right.
Yeah.
Maybe reseeding, probably subsoiling type thing, or pan busting as they call it. Just to try and improve things, aeration and that sort of thing. Like we have had issues there which I reckon are mineral deficiencies. So that's another area we're looking at. The samples gone off there, blood samples and grass samples, so see where we go from there. And
Yeah, and again, look, it can be a slow one, but I think it brings a bit of science to it, and
Yeah.
people do enjoy it. And look, it's not for everybody maybe, but even on the mineral side, the reason I got involved in microbes 12 or 13 years ago was cows eating stones. No one can answer me why it was low phosphorus. And it came back to this rhizosphere and the root.
Yeah.
Again, looking at the microbes are involved in mineral absorption. So, look, it's a really interesting area. We don't know all we should know about it, even at this point. So, it's interesting. It's great chatting to you today, and great to meet somebody and you've seen their face on
Yeah.
as my young kids call it, YouTube.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's a different thing, alright. But yeah, that's a few points there from what we picked off Tommy there. So we'll see what else we can come across. So just happened on this man here, Pat Collins. Probably a lot of you has probably seen his channel there as well. He's down Cork. He's more on the fatman side. He's a lot of tillage as well. What is your farming enterprise? Or
Dower House Farms name, but anyway, yeah, sure, we're a beef and crops farm in East Cork, and we have a grassland management consultancy business as well. A couple of horses, bits and pieces of everything what's going on. Put up daily videos, like and subscribe.
Good man, Pat. In your business then, like your grassland management, what sort of is your unique selling point, let's call it?
So I suppose our unique selling, we're not a whole pile different to other grassland management consultancy businesses that are out there.
Yeah.
What we do basically during the growing season, we work with around 30 different farmers, Tipperary, Waterford, Cork area.
Yeah.
We go to them weekly during the growing season. We walk their farm, we do a grass measure from, we give them the results, and we sort of have a chat then and help them in their decision making around grassland management for the week.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's sort of every farm is different. Two neighbours that we might be working for, farming the exact same production system and the exact same land type, might manage their farm completely different, but all with the same goal at mind, to make as much money or to get as much milk out the gap as cost efficient as possible. So look, it's all about context is what we do. We're dealing with loads of different farms, and on our own farm at home then we're dealing with mainly light free draining soil, but not all of it, and different decisions for different times of the year and different ground types, different crops. So that's basically what we're about.
And what way would you see lads going, like multi-species you were talking about inside there? How would you find the dairymen picking that up, or would they be more inclined to stay with their traditional grass?
Sure, look, I suppose in the main, why would they move to multi-species? Why would they move away from their traditional grassland swards that have been working for so long? Look, there's a couple of different reasons. The main one being the new nitrogen allowances and a necessity to get the most out of the nitrogen you're spreading, and to do that you have to have healthy soils, and multi-species can be a big play a big part in improving our soils. Look, I think we've went past the point now where healthy soils are just soils that have index 3 and 4 for P and K and a pH of 6.5. We're gone past that. We now need to have sufficient numbers of biology and microbes and fungi working within our soil to really maximise, because look, there's no doubt a lot of farmers we're working for, they are stretched for nitrogen now, and halfway through, or well over halfway through the nitrogen spreading season, they're taking stock now and they're realising they've very little nitrogen left to use. So we do need to use it more efficiently to keep production up, because production is key really in the end of the day.
Yeah, like I suppose for, as you said, the multi-species, that's where it's coming in, like where you can cut back on that couple of fields or whatever you have.
Yeah, exactly. You're reducing your nitrogen spread on those fields, and for maybe 2 years, but then when they go to multi-species and back into grassland, white clover sward, your soil is healthier, so it's better able to utilise the nitrogen you are spreading, and there is a reduced need to spread nitrogen underground. It's just all about, look, it's sort of basically taking a whole farm approach or a whole systems approach to moving forward with nutrient management as opposed to just spreading fertiliser. That day is gone. We don't have the luxury of being able to do it anymore because we don't have the allowances. We have to think about what we're doing now more so than ever. And look, it does lead to a challenge, but it's I see it as an enjoyable challenge. Every day is different. You know, you're more complex decisions to be making, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy working with our clients, and we help them. That might be daunting to some clients, but we help them along the road there, and it's a good relationship to have with clients. So.
Yeah, and I suppose on that side of it as well, I suppose there's other benefits rather than the actual amount of grass that you have from your multi-species.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like as I said, look, you're improving the diversity of your sward. There is, I think, with reduced nitrogen will definitely come better animal health. Like we sort of changed to mainly protected urea this year over sulcan, not so much from an environmental perspective. But from a perspective it has a slower uptake of nitrogen, so it's sort of less antagonistic to calves, leaving them out to grass. We also do dairy, beef, and touch wood, we'd have no case of summer scour since we left calves out in the same last year. So look, little things like that can make a big difference, that don't cost you much and have a financial gain. Look, obviously we're all bound to be environmentally sustainable now. My view on it is get the farms financially and socially sustainable, have it a nice place to work and have it making money, and we can worry about the environment then after that.
Well, sure, it's all well and good like saying to be environmental this and that, but if you're not turning a shilling at the end of the day, there's no point.
As one of the presenters said, it's very hard to be green when you're in the red.
Yeah, there's no truer point than that, but a day as the day is, how did you find this? Or
yeah, brilliant. It was really enjoyable, wasn't it? I enjoyed it. I know there's great demos here. It's a great mix of, there's always something else going on outside of the chats, which is sort of a new format for it this year. And but it was really enjoyable. So you could sit down, you could sit in on a couple of the speakers, or you could walk way out and have a walk around, see what's going on outside. But God, I don't know, I think I'll go back to the sunny East Cork now. It's fairly cold up here, isn't it?
No, the sun was shining and I leaving as well, but it's a different day up here. But look, it'll be different when we get back too. But,
yeah, exactly. Fit for cutting corn out tomorrow, hopefully.
Getting into the corn,
yeah, starting winter barley now tomorrow, hopefully.
It's not far off now, coming up along now. See, it's not a million mile off there. A week will do a lot. I've seen. But look, but that's this man here. So I've started mowing again here now. Have a piece raked up there as well now for baling. We'll go ahead now in the morning and going to finish. This one is finished now, and we'll go up to the other one there. And we'll mow that out of it there, and we'll give it a stir out there tomorrow, and we'll have them for the next day then. So yeah, like this good and green here, probably a fair bit of ryegrass after coming into this now. There was ryegrass in this years ago, and it got sort of a hole in it, so it's coming into it there. Like you can see it there, it's starting to show how it'll be a long ways ahead of the the ordinary perennial grass. That's the problem with it, I suppose. It just gets so far ahead, like it had seed out there and it'd be re-sown itself, so shouldn't be too bad there now. I'd say the seed should stay with the plant there, but yeah, that will be a downside of it anyway. If you let it get to seed, that's what's going to take place. It'll take over. But yeah, this you can see there, like it's good and green, and not too bad in the butt either. So look, and there should be a fair bit on this. I'd say it's could be nearly a bit better than the first cut. So, and the other field I'd say is much the same. Maybe won't be any less anyway. It's a good heavy cut there. So looking fairly good so far anyway. But you can see the lines of slurry here now. What is below where we've cut, But you'd want to be minding when you be raking and tedding not to be down too much on it there. You'd bring up that slurry into it there, like you can see more there. Oh, like, but it's in, you can see the lines along where it has, I suppose it has knocked out the grass a bit anyway. So that's that one done. Look, probably greener field, younger grass. The others probably could have been mowed maybe a week or two earlier, but look at the weather. The way the weather was coming there was very unsettled. There was no chance of getting a few days. So look, it was raining and rain, but didn't a whole lot of rain fall either. Like everywhere is very dry, but I was just leaving it a bit messy there to try get it dry for silage. So look, it's given it good for the week. So there's lots of hay meadows after being mowed there now as well, and see combines starting to roll there now today down around here. So it's given a right spell there now to get a bit of a start to the harvest, get the winter barley out of the way maybe, and get straw gathered up as well. So yeah, look, that's pretty much this. So yeah, I go up to that base Ireland there. They had I suppose it's regenerative farming, I suppose is the buzzword as they call it. But yeah, there was a few interesting speakers there, highlighting different things there, like which you may or may not know about. But good crowd ahead, and everyone was seemingly eager enough, like, to take on a few things on board. So yeah, like, got to meet a good few people there as well. There was actually there lads watching the channel there. To a Tom, a Thomas, and a Robert. You'll know who you are if you're watching this. Nice to speak to them there, like grandfather, father, and son, which you generally don't see too often there at any of those type things. There's always someone missing along the line, but look, it's interesting to see there. There's 3 generations there with interest in it as well. But yeah, like, lots of things there. Probably maybe the multi-species thing is showing up there. Interesting points, few points there. Like, if it's not a big thing with us, but if you're coming onto your derogation, coming up on your limits, you could use, maybe stick in a few fields of it, and you could save nitrogen there on that, and you could be able to get onto your silage ground or somewhere else that might need it a bit more. Just use it as a tool there to spread your nitrogen around a bit better, or get a little bit more back in your bank, let's call it. But yeah, interesting there. Caught talking to Tommy Heffernan and then Pat Collins down East Cork there. But then just looking around there as well, like, I see him composting dung there. It's probably a bit of work in it, but I'd say for spreading dung through the year, especially on grassland, might be an idea. Like, you can, you break up the dung there, turn it a few times, definitely fine it down, so it possibly will be easier to get your dung out there on grazing ground maybe. Might be something to look into. But yeah, look, we're getting into the silage now anyway, so probably going to leave the video here. Sure, pick it up again there with baling and wrapping. Sure, probably rowing up as well, and that's coming ahead there. But we've a good start done, and we've done a few bits of early grazing there, or we've done a few bits of grazing that got ahead of us there as well, so we have that in there as well. But yeah, we'll finish up the video here, and sure, as always, like and subscribe, and sure, we'll see you in the next one. Good luck.